Dr. Chris Winter, welcome to the Valder Beebe Show to talk about sleep apnea. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, there's a National Sleep Apnea Awareness Day in March. I didn't know that, but there's a day for everything. So it's a great time for us to bring this to the attention of my audience who said, I told them you were coming, and a lot of them weighed in and said they don't know what sleep apnea is, but they're sleeping with masks and they're taking medicine and they're not sleeping. So let's say, what exactly is sleep apnea first?
That's a great place to start. I think you bring up a great point. I think a lot of people who know they have it are not really sure what it is. And for the people who are undiagnosed, I think it's really important to understand it. So sleep apnea is a condition where your airway collapses when you breathe. That's the obstructive part of obstructive sleep apnea. So that disturbance in terms of your airway collapsing makes it difficult to breathe and therefore difficult to maintain sleep during the night. So people with sleep apnea are constantly waking up through the night because of their difficulty breathing. And a lot of people don't know they have the disorder. To your point, they just wake up and don't feel good. They don't feel refreshed. They feel sleepy the next day.
How common is this in America?
Well, that's why I'm partnering with Lilly to get the message out that it's quite common that as many as 24 million Americans may have sleep apnea and be undiagnosed, yet they're living with the consequences of sleep apnea, the fatigue, the sleepiness. They're living with, obesity and being overweight. So there are symptoms that go along with it that people are sort of aware of, but there may be things that, relate to sleep apnea that the average person is not aware of.
Can you tell me what are some of the things that cause sleep apnea? Because you mentioned obesity, but with this new drug, I don't see a lot of obese people that much.
Yeah, so as a sleep specialist, that's sort of my job, to educate people about sleep apnea and what to sort of look out for, because it can be difficult to understand who is at risk, because to look at somebody, you might not be able to tell. We typically think of people with sleep apnea being men, maybe people, an older individual. Weight tends to go along with sleep apnea, but we want to really make sure that we don't have those sort of preconceived notions, and that we're really looking for anybody who might feel sleepy, fatigued during the day, report brain fog, living with obesity or struggling with their weight, or anybody choking, snoring at night. And that's why it's important to educate yourself, and your listeners can do that by going to the webpage don'tsleeponosa.com. So OSA standing for Obstructive Sleep Apnea Syndrome. Don'tsleeponosa.com is a great place to go. If you're listening to this and thinking, well, maybe that does affect me, or maybe somebody that I care about, that kind of sounds like Chris is describing that person, this is a great first step to take to start figuring out if you may be at risk for this disorder and what your options are for dealing with it.
I want my audience to know and remember that Dr. Christopher Winter is a nationally recognized sleep specialist, a neurologist, and an author with over 2 decades of experience in sleep medicine. Finally, Dr. Winter, is there anything you want my audience to take away from this conversation?
I think what I would say is 2 things. One, you have control over this disorder. And the second thing is, as the title implies, don't sleep on OSA. What I don't want your listeners to do is to listen to this and think, you know what, it's Sleep Apnea Awareness Day, and some of these things that Dr. Winter are talking about seem to resonate with me, but I'm going to wait for a while and kind of see how things play out, because time is so important with this disorder. I want you to have a conversation with your primary care doctor, just the doctor that you trust and is in your life, and say, listen, I heard this on the radio. I'm wondering if I might be at risk for sleep apnea. I went to the don'tsleeponosa.com, and some of those things are making me concerned that I have this disorder. What are my treatment options? What are my diagnostic options? There's a bunch of them. And how can we move forward in a way that's going to best protect my health and quality of life?
Dr. Chris Winter, I want to thank you for being my guest on the Valder Beebe Show today. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of The Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/Valder Beebe Show. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to youtube.com/Valder Beebe Show and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.